One final time. The state's financial troubles have forced us to cut back on many programs. Last year, the Parks and Recreation Commission announced that it was going to cut all funding to the Empire State Winter Games. Now, instead of giving up on the Lake Placid tradition, local leaders teamed up and they scraped together to come up with the funding. And then this weekend, those games are getting underway. My next guest was instrumental in the effort to save the Winter Games. He is James McKenna. He's the president of the Lake Placid Convention Visitors Bureau. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thanks for having us, Liz.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So that was a massive fundraising event that you guys went
Well,
to.
you know, we had about 2 months to put it together, and the desire was there. It seemed like we recognized that we couldn't go back and knock on the state's door, so to keep the tradition going, mainly for the athletes, we decided about 24 hours to pull it off, and we did it.
Okay, so this is kicking off on Friday.
Friday night, yep.
And just give us a brief overview. How many events will there be?
Well,
how long will it last?
It's all the traditional winter sports events, so there's actually 13 different disciplines participating. We've also added this year some adaptive cross-country skiing programs. We kick it off tomorrow night about 6 o'clock with the opening ceremonies, and over the course of the weekend we'll do all those disciplines in a number of different levels.
And how many athletes will be competing?
Right now we have just under 900 athletes registered. We're hoping to get up a little over 900.
And that's actually slightly fewer than in years past, is that correct?
Last year about 1,200, so we're a little bit under, but with the uncertainty of the games for a couple of days there, some of the other sports had to go commit to other competitions.
Well, what we're talking about also is people who are training very hard for a very long period of time. I mean, uncertainty is not something that goes well when you're talking about trying to hit your peak for a certain event.
Definitely not. I mean, some of the youth around the state, they look at this as they train for it year-round. Others have used these games for stepping stones onto the Olympic Games, so they're committed when they come there, and that's really one of the reasons that we have stepped forward to say, let's do this. Let's not worry about the state at this point. Let's recognize that we're in a different world now, and to do these types of things, we have to band together and move forward together.
You are just shy of your fundraising goals.
Just shy. You know, we've raised just under 100,000. We want to get it to about 102, 103,000, and then we'll meet all of our commitments.
And that goes for what exactly? I mean, that seems like not a lot of money, actually.
It doesn't seem like a lot of money, but you know, we're a little bit different up in Lake Placid that we have a couple of organizations that we can plug some of the existing work into, which we did, but it's primarily to help with some of the judges coming to do the ceremonies for the awards and those types of issues that people don't really look and attach an expense to, but at the end of the day, when you're putting on these types of productions, you have to build those budgets along with them.
Well, and again, you're talking about if you use this as a stepping stone to go to the Olympics, for example, there are strict regulations that you need to meet. It's not just like you're going to hold a race and you know, come down the hill as fast as you can.
No, there's qualifiers and there's a lot of things that go into this program.
Sure. So when the state basically said this isn't going to happen anymore, did you automatically assume that going forward you're going to privatize this, if you will?
Well, I think that that's our direction right now, and what we've decided, and we haven't fully decided really till maybe the next couple of weeks, but there's a couple of international and national events out there that we think we can model this after quite a bit. One is established by the International Olympic Committee called the Youth Olympic Games, where we think we can pull a little from there. The X Games have become very popular, and we're going to try to pull a little bit of that.
Oh, wait, are you going to have skiing with people doing backflips?
Well, you're going to start seeing that in the future.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, so we're looking at a lot of different things to make this a really unique event for the state.
So, okay, so when you do that kind of thing, does that open you up to some things that you didn't have the possibility for before? In other words, corporate sponsorship, for
Without a
example?
doubt, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Less regulation and requirements and bidding things out because it's no longer a public organization.
You're right on, Liz, right on. It's exactly the approach we're taking. We think we can be very successful at it.
It is a little unfortunate, though. I mean, this is something that used to happen, that the state used to do, and it enables the state to do a little goodwill.
It certainly does, especially when we look at the issues that youth are facing today, you know, obesity and everybody hanging out all day long inside. This gives them an opportunity to get out and to become active.
Do you know can you tell us any more in terms of going forward, what you're hoping to do and making this more of an attraction to build it up?
Well, what we're looking at, we want to use this new model that we're trying to develop and turn it into almost a week-long festival and pull in some educational programs and some cultural programs so that we can have our state athletes, and maybe beyond our state in the future, come and compete in sport, but also use it as an educational opportunity and also some cultural opportunities for our youth.
But when you talk about maybe expanding it to include some of the more extreme sports, if you will, that is really the way that kids are going, right?
Exactly.
I mean, is there snowboarding, for example?
Oh, there certainly is this year, but not all the sports we'll see in the X Games that are not happening in the Empire Games right now. Our goal is to really turn it into something like that so it becomes an attraction and a larger audience of our state youth can look forward to.
And the opening ceremonies, can you just tell me what people should expect for that?
Well, we'll have a parade of athletes, about 900 athletes coming in. We have a torch that we're going to light, and we've got some live entertainment. We've got a pretty hot band called Barefoot Truth participating for the athletes, so we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a big party as well.
And just if people want to get information, the public's open to the public?
Yeah, open to the public, no charge for any of the ceremonies, and they go to EmpireStateWinterGames.com.
It is very interesting and exciting, and I'm sure that the athletes are thrilled.
They are.
So good luck to you, Mr.
Well, thank
McKenna.
you very much. We really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, bye-bye.
Now you can move.
Okay, thanks.